Welcome back to What Ginny Reads. I'm Shweta. She's Ginny. We have Poulomi, and all of us are from Ginny's planet. Poulomi, what book have you brought? And today's book 9, by the way. So, what book have you brought from your daughter's library for Ginny and every other child to focus on, read?
Okay. Hello. Hi. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So today's book is The Day You Begin by this fantastic author called Jacqueline Woodson. Jacqueline Woodson is, already known for her young adult work. Uh, and this is a book, I think this is the ninth book that we are, ninth edition of it. And this is the first time I'm also bringing a foreign publication, not an Indian publication. But I think this book is something which transcends boundaries. I cannot really say that, it is from the global north or global south and stuff like that, and it's very interesting, and we will speak more on this.
Right.
So yeah.
So, why this book, Poulomi, today?
Okay. So I think before I get there, I think I would want to show this page if you can read. So it reads, there will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. And this is how the book begins, right? And with it, there are so many emotions which come, where you are the odd one out, where you are the first, where no one is like you speak a different language, you may look different, you may have many other things to do and say, and maybe it will your skin, your clothes, and so many other things. And that is where the book starts. It's a beautiful book. It keeps on telling you, and I know I have read it to my daughter to explain, that there are times you hesitate, you feel that I can't do this, right? And it's too much for me. And I thought it's very important to introduce this, especially to young children, because I think hesitation comes uh, to each one of us. And I think that is where, yes, okay, we need to be a little courageous, but there also needs to be a significant other or an adult who will ease your way out. And the world will only be equitable and empathetic when we also know that there may be someone who is not speaking, there may be someone who is feeling something odd. How can that be? How can the person be enabled and stuff like that? I think it's
Right.
a really
Right.
deep book,
Like
right?
it sounds so much like a Guinness Planet book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you read the first line itself, like ye to, matlab, this could be our book as well. But what has been the experience of reading it with your daughter?
So interesting, because I think here the adults need to do a little bit of homework when you read these books. Of course, this is like beautiful illustrations, but it's not a story, right? It's also about anchoring and speaking about feelings at that point in time, right? And so you have to weave your story. This girl is new here. How do you think you will feel? And so I mean, the thing is, with my daughter, she's a very go-to person. She usually doesn't want to hold back unless and otherwise she gets that reaction from someone else, like someone is shutting her off. She can't handle it. So for me, taking that example, that there is this one person who one day refused to speak to you or shut the door, and how did you feel? She felt miserable at that point in time, right? So what would you do next? Will you come back, or you will wait and you will try the next day? Because I mean, we can't just leave the world, right, and go somewhere else. And I think that made it easier for her now to invest and know what else to do. And I think that's what the book also speaks about. And I will just read out one part. There will be times when the world feels like a place that you are standing all the way outside of. And this is the illustration. Here is this boy, uh, this place. And all that stands beside you is your own brave self, steady as steel and ready, even though you don't yet know what you're ready for. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you until the day you begin to share your stories. My name is Angelina. I spent my whole summer with my little sister You tell the class, your voice stronger than it was a minute ago, reading books and telling stories. And even though we were right on the block, it was like we got to go everywhere. Your name is just like my sister's, Rigoberto says. Her name is Angelina too. And all of at once, in the room where no one else is quite like you, the world opens itself up a little wider to make some space for you. This is the day you begin to find the places inside your laughter and your lunches, your books, your travel, and your stories, where every new friend has something a little like you and something else so fabulously not quite like you at all. I think
Right,
I,
you're right. You're right. Like this is less like a story and more like poetry
yeah,
and
it is. It is.
expressing
It is.
things. Yeah,
It is. It is.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think here, more than the words, is the pictures which tell the story. It's about this person struggling, trying to find friends. And what do you do? Beginning is not easy for anyone, right? At every point in time, and often we forget that we also begun at any point in time through someone's help or through a little bit of courage in our own. So I think when you remember that, it also makes you more grounded to feel, to make way for others, right? Because most of the time we are always hustling to speak on our own and for our own self. I think it's a very very nice book. And the thing is that, of course, Jacqueline Woodson, if we read her works, is also about speaking against racial discrimination, about accommodating more children of diverse races in a classroom, about diversity, about different kinds of children with disability as well. And I think this book is what her heart has really led to create and speak to children in a very lyrical way. But here, definitely, the parents need to do a little bit of work. You cannot just read it, right, to a younger, a 4 or 5 year old. You have to set a premise, and then rest will automatically fall because children are way more perceptive than you think they are.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And when I saw the illustrations and when I heard the few
Mm,
lines, I felt this is exactly the book that I now should read to my son because this is how he is, when he goes to
mm,
the park or everywhere else.
mm.
I think this is very meaningful for him and obviously many other
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And this
Thank
is the
you.
age, like four, five,
Yeah.
6 is also the age. Suddenly you're expected to come out, right?
Yeah.
Spend full days in outside world, but you still don't know because you still don't know your personality, right? You still haven't tested yourself, but you only test when you begin and how to do that in
Right.
that way,
Thank
right?
you. Thank you so much, Palmi, for bringing this wonderful book on Guinea's Planet. And I hope the audience is going to grab this book and definitely give it a read. Sounds very wonderful. Thank you so much and see you next Tuesday.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Bye.